So today I want to talk about let him court you at his level. And really, this is a response to the whole Keke Palmer and Darius Dalton situation. I got a chance to review the video clip with Keke at the Usher concert. I reviewed the tweets that her boyfriend had tweeted. And I reviewed a video that she and Steve Harvey did where he was basically, as an elder, trying to just give her some advice on how to date. And one of the main things I remember him saying is stop trying to give these boys your lifestyle. That's the main thing I remember. And he also said the guy has to have a plan to have something. So the two things: the guy that you date has to have a plan to have something, and stop trying to give these boys your lifestyle. He also referenced her how she makes a lot of money. She needs to get with someone who also has something as well. And she was not very receptive to that advice. I think her response was something along the lines of, I already have my own money. What I need is not money. What I need is, I guess, I can't remember exactly what she said, but she needs somebody with love and somebody with character and maybe integrity. I'm not exactly sure, but it was something along those lines. Basically she needed more of an emotional connection. She already has money. She didn't need a man for his money. She needed a man for the other things that a man can provide. And Steve was trying to tell her that the money piece is important. So, in the fallout of this whole situation, what I gather is that her boyfriend seemed like he was insecure that she was able to mingle with a celebrity as big as Usher and who has as money as Usher. But I guess I'm not here to say who's right, who's wrong, but I will say this. Keke Palmer is an entertainer. Usher also is an entertainer. I think it was at one point, Keke Palmer had mentioned in some article that celebrities snapping back after pregnancy is really just part of the job. It's not like something to be really celebrated. It's a requirement of the job for them to snap back. So I don't think it went into detail about how they snap back, but I think that kind of insinuates that they do what they gotta do to get their bodies back together, which may even include plastic surgery, because that's what they need to do in order to get work. So she's an entertainer. The guy that she had this baby with knew she was in the entertainment industry when he got with her, because she was a child star. And basically you're getting mad for the results of what you signed up for. And that's on his side. Now on her side, she's getting what she signed up for. Steve Harvey tried to warn her that, she needs someone who has something. Now, he didn't go into detail as to why. Is that, a man is going to feel insecure if his woman is breadwinner. It's not a good long-term plan. it's good for the short term. So, this guy could have been somebody that she had some short term fun with, as far as dating around, but not necessarily was a good long term choice of a partner. So I know in my dating experience, and I'm dating again after my divorce, and I'm in my mid-40s now. It's a little tougher in your mid-40s. A lot of people have been divorced. Well, I should say people, but it's people, but specifically a lot of men also have gone through divorce. They have child support, they have alimony, which make it a little bit more difficult for them to be a provider for a new wife and a new family. And so, the last person I dated, which I spoke about extensively on season 1, as a result of his divorce, he experienced some financial hardship. And to be honest with you, I experienced financial hardship as well as a result of my divorce. It's just that his financial hardship was a little bit more extensive than mine. And I never shamed him for what he could or could not do. So what I ended up doing is I allowed him to court me at his level. And what I mean by that is that there were times where we went places like Chipotle to eat, or to places that cost no more than like $40 for 2 people, like 2 for $20 type of situations. I allowed him to do that in a way so that he and I could just spend time together and get to know me. I allowed him to say, okay, I'm gonna take you to the park, and we'll sit down and just talk and have a conversation. And it's not that he didn't have resources. He did have resources. It's just that there were significantly less than, I guess, what a lot of people would be looking for. So he did not own a house. He did not own a vehicle. But because of his employment, he did have access to a lot of free things. So what I mean by that, he did have a housing allowance. And he had access to free I want to say free a free hotspot. He had a free hotspot, like kind of Wi-Fi hotspot. What else? Yeah, housing allowance, free Wi-Fi hotspot. There were a couple other things, but it had access to equipment. He had access to computer equipment as a result of his job, but he did not have a car. So he did catch the bus wherever he had to go. But he was a very nice gentleman. But it's a lot of that had to do with the fallout and everything he had to spend between child support and alimony, how he had to really cut back in order to meet those financial obligations due to his divorce. And he was a really, really nice guy, respectful guy, very loving, very caring. And I made it a point to not expose him to my lifestyle because I wanted to make sure that he liked me for me. And, it seems like he did. And he was used to, and he knew he had to come with something. Like, I wasn't just gonna be free. And I think as a woman, and I think this is maybe a womanhood lesson, that instead of kind of like talking too much and exposing the guy to your lifestyle, saying how much you make, if if the guy, I will say, don't let the guy know your financial capacity when you first meet him. I mean, eventually you will have to let him know, but I think when you first meet him, you gotta make sure that he's not in it just for access to your money and your resources, because the man, he's not gonna want to be a stay-at-home dad. That's gonna mess with his manhood and his masculinity. He's gonna try to feel like a man again. And you gotta be okay with what he can provide. So if you are not okay with a guy taking you to a two for one type of place, or taking you to the park, or taking you on like cheap creative dates, then you may need to just move on, because you exposing him to your lifestyle, giving him your lifestyle, is in the long term just gonna create resentment. So I think it's better to let the man court you on his level. And I hope I've articulated it well enough. But I think I guess the thing I think Steve Harvey didn't do in his explanation to Keke Palmer is that he didn't give the reasons why you need to, as a woman, not give a man your lifestyle. And basically, in the long term, it's not a good long-term plan. In the long term, the man is going to get jealous and or insecure about your connections to other high-earning men that you may have, as far as you may have to interact with as far as your career. So in the case of Keke Palmer, Usher is an entertainer. She's an entertainer. She's interacting with him to kind of promote herself and boost her career. Two, the man is not eventually going to not feel like a man. He's going to start to feel like less than a man if he's not the one providing. And that definitely leads to cheating on his part. Three, when you get older, when you're my age, you're going to get tired and you'll get resentful. You're not going to you're not going to have the energy you have in your 20s when you're in your mid 40s going into your 50s. You're not going to want to be the breadwinner long term. And the way you start out in a relationship is how you're going to end up. So, and I think for men in general like to call the shots. What we saw with Keke and Darius is that he was basically trying to call the shots. He was trying to tell her what to do and, what his requirements were. And I heard someone say that if it's spilling over into social media, then there have been these conversations or these disputes in private already. And I think that was a good point. He probably had tried to make that point to her beforehand, and she may have ignored him. So then now he's trying to do more to get her attention. So I think that's pretty much it. I think a great womanhood lesson I've learned, somebody dating after 40, is to let the man court you at his level if you're gonna date someone who does not have as much money as you or more. But be honest with you, if I was in a woman in my 20s, if I could do it over again, I would get somebody with who's a little bit more established financially than me. But if you're in your 40s like me and you're starting over, allow the man to court you at his level. And that's all I have to say for now.